You are welcome to the Premier Top 4 podcast. The Premier Top 4 podcast. The podcast where the fans meet and then the banter goes on among the traditional top 4 teams, the teams that usually were top 4 until the oil money bangers came to take over the league. But surely, due to the introduction of this podcast, we will take over. So when I talk about the traditional top 4, I mean the Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United, and Arsenal. So these are the matches that we always, talk about. We are here to do a little review on the matches, but we focus on the traditional top 4 teams, and then we will sprinkle in a little bit of banter here and there, because we had this weekend the three. Normally we are going to have 4 matches, but because of the fact that one of the two of the teams have met each other, we are going to have 3 matches to discuss, and then so we will just delve right into it. And the matches that we are going to focus on is Manchester United versus Liverpool, Chelsea versus Crystal Palace, and then Arsenal versus Brighton. So these are the 3 matches that we are going to delve right into it, and then after that, the banter will follow. So before I continue, I want to introduce my guests. So to my right, the lady in Arsenal jersey. Please, what's your name, and then introduce yourself. Let the audience know who you are.
My name is Jesus Lin. You can call me Abena. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah,
Yes. I support the biggest club in London.
the biggest club in where?
In London.
O- Okay, that's your claim. Okay, so from where I see it down there, um, introduce yourself. The man in the Liverpool jersey.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dry. I mean,
We can't
yeah.
hear you. Sorry, we can't hear you.
Can you hear
Yeah,
me
I think
now? My
we can
my
hear you.
audible
Yeah,
now.
we can. Yeah,
You can
yeah,
hear
you
me
can.
now.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. My name is Dry. I am a Liverpool fan. I support the most successful English club. Some people's success and dominance is territorial within the bigger, jurisdiction. I am the king of that entire jurisdiction. So if you talk about English football and you are looking for the most successful club in English football, it's definitely got to be Liverpool. That's the club I support.
Okay. Okay. So audience, as you can hear, and then the ones who are watching us, before they even go into it, you can see that they are trying to brag already. Okay. So my guests, what I will ask you to do is that always mute yourself if you're not talking. Just mute yourself, and so that we don't get feedback from whatever we are doing here. Okay. So before we go into our guest, I want to run through the results of the weekend, and then we will take them one after the other. So I think Manchester United versus Liverpool, it was 3-0. It just ended, and then we started this spot. So it is fresh on some minds, and you can see why someone was just bragging there. Yeah. And then the next one was Chelsea versus Crystal Palace, which was 1-1, and then Arsenal versus Brighton, which was 1-1 as well. So we will start from the Arsenal match, which was on the Saturday. We will analyze that, and then we will go to the next one, Chelsea, and then the last one will be the main event. The reason why we are here. Okay, so I will start. I will start with the Arsenal match. So Arsenal versus Brighton. We will just dive right into it. Arsenal versus Brighton. It was 1-1, and I want us to start breaking it down from the lineup. So, Jesus Lin, can you help us with the first 11 that Ateta went for?
So I think the last time we had this discussion, we had a prediction of the lineup that he would use. And I think he went for the same lineup he used for the previous match. So then he went for his normal back five. He went for Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Timber. Then in his midfield, he played Odiga Partey, Rice. Then he swapped Martinelli for Trossard. Then he played Havertz on top. Then he played Saka. So he went for the 11 that he has used. I think Villa, the only difference was he started Martinelli. And I think Timber to start at the match. So I think he just went for his strongest 11 now. And that's what he used.
Okay. So Dry, I want to come to you. From a neutral point of view, how did you see the match in general?
I must say that I didn't really watch the full match. I watched highlights and some of the officiating decisions that occasioned the match sort of like probably robbed the game of some beauty. But then again, these are human beings that are really manning these offices, so it's inevitable. But then I think what I want to say is this: Brighton are really doing something. It's as though they've not, changed managers. This manager is really, sitting in comfortably and really building something because to really go toe to toe with Arsenal and secure some points at their home is something that I think is worth commending, and they did a very good job. As for Arteta and his men, I don't really know what went wrong for them on the day. But I think there was a last ball that Havertz played into Saka's path. If that ball had entered, I'm sure that would have been a very good thing for us now. And then maybe from there they would have probably defended and secured a 3 point. But it didn't go the way. It didn't go that way. So that is just more like it's just I think one of those bad days for Arteta and his boys. And it's purely like it's understandable to see Arteta even in his post-match interview ranting and complaining about the officiating and all of that. But I mean, it's in the game and these things happen, so just have to live with it.
So, Jesus Lin, what's your view on the match in general? Just your view on the match in general.
Well, I think I also said that Brighton has been a boogie team for Arteta ever since he came. Ever since he started managing Arsenal. So then, over the past seasons, the match has been a little bit difficult. And like you said, they play as if they've not changed managers. The philosophy has always been the same. When you come in, you play the same kind of football. And they've had a very good transfer window. So we're expecting the match to be tough at the Emirates. But the refereeing, we just want consistency because there were other issues that happened in the match that also warranted like a yellow card, like the Rice incident and the Pedro incident. But we didn't get that. When that happens, it makes it difficult analyzing the match because everybody is focusing on the mistakes that the referees keep doing. But I think overall, I also didn't have the opportunity of watching the match. But watching the highlights, I think they both played the game that they were supposed to play. It's just, I think our issues are still in the midfield with Partey. He's, we have to let him go. And also the new midfielder we bought cannot also play. So then I think now, and with Rice, we still have to fix on that midfield and also our attackers. So I think that was the issue. I think they both had the games that they normally play, possession based. They both had the chances that they could easily have won the match. But I think the red card changed the game.
Okay, so from my point of view, I watched the entire match, and until the red card, Arsenal were dominating. Everything was on point. And then for me personally, I don't see anything wrong with the decision because why did he leave his leg there? Because you could see from the referee's face that he was like, "Why would you do this? Like, it's just a yellow card by the books." Even in today's match, in Chelsea's match, you could see that there was a situation where someone also left his leg right in front of Cowell when we had a free kick, and then he had a yellow card. So that is the rules. So the referee was like, You shouldn't be doing this because you know you're on a yellow card." And then by doing that, I just have to give you the yellow card because that's what you deserve. That's what the rule says. So I think one thing that people always forget is that when the rule goes against you, that's when people complain. But it was, excuse me, say, it was stupid to do that because you were the team was up there, everything was moving forward. You were in the way of to winning your for the first time against Brighton, and then he did that, and the game changed. And then Ateta went back to his football that we know before all these tiki taka thing. He packed the bus, and then they came back. Yeah.
But I think
So
the issue is with consistency because from what you're saying, there's a difference when the player is deliberately in front of the ball and he kicks it. He's standing in the way. When you look at the ball was moving. It wasn't. It has the ball has to not be in motion for you to stand. The ball was moving, and also it was behind him. So you can say that maybe deliberately it hit his leg, but he wasn't in front of the ball. And also, if you are talking like that, then what about the incident of Joao Pedro in the first half? That was deliberately kicking away. So if you gave him a yellow card and you gave Rice to a yellow card, it's the consistency we are asking for. But you didn't give one. And the one that doesn't even look too much of an incident, you gave a yellow card for that. That's where the issue is. We all come back here and have issues with refereeing in this season. Today you had some, tomorrow somebody will have some. So it's just a consistency. If I have seen it being given, it's like I think the goal Liverpool scored. If they had given it today, it would have been an issue because last week United they didn't give it. So it's just a consistency that people are asking for. That if you want to go by the rule, go by it 100%. So that I know that in this case, someone was given a yellow card, I'll get a yellow card there. That is all we ask for.
Okay, so tactically, where do you think it went wrong? That caused this because you had a lot of chances to bury the game even when with 10 men. So what went wrong tactically? Like what should they? Because I have my view, but I want you guys to go through it before I say that. So what do you think, Dry? What do you think tactically should have been done for Arsenal to win the game?
From a tactical point of view, I think um, first of all, right, if you're a manager and you are a man down, one thing you want to prioritize is that you want to get the most out of the game. And at the time, um, it was I think they were they were leading by a goal up, right? Before the red card came in. And when the red card comes in like that, like I said earlier, tactically you're supposed to get the most out of the game. So I think the tactical makeshift in the game to let us now to sit back a little and soak in the pressure and play behind the pressing Brighton players was spot on, right? Until they got, the chance, the ball that was played was saved on the first attempt. It was a rebound that was played into the net by Joao Pedro. And if not for that, you would have seen that the game plan would have worked perfectly for us now. Even after conceding the equalizer, you could see that Arsenal wanted to still impose themselves in the game and then go out there um, to secure maximum points by playing. The balls wide and cutting the balls down in for um, attackers within the 18-yard box or within the central spaces to push the ball and then tap the ball into the pool. But again, that didn't work well because Arsenal is not known to have very pacey wingers who could run with the ball in the manner in which Liverpool does it. Like last season, you saw Darwin Nunes come off the bench to win the game for Liverpool when they had a red card and they were a man down. Because of the pace of Darwin Nunes, we could capitalize on that to win the game. I don't see any player in the Arsenal setup that could do the same thing that Darwin Nunes does, or even any other pacey forward would do, right? So um, overall, I think it was a fair game after the red card. The tactical adjustment was just was spot on from Arteta's point of view. But what I want to comment on is with regards to the consistency of officiating. I mean, Arsenal fans can call out referees and officiations for being inconsistent. Last season, we were at the Emirates and you saw Odegaard in the 18-yard box deliberately sweeping the ball with his hands, and that was not blown, right? The fans said we can't blame the player when people who are supposed to be in charge of that are incompetent at their job. So it is funny to see them already calling referees out and bad officiation out. It happens to everybody. It's like karma. It will get to you. It will reach everybody. So relax, relax. It just started. Relax. Um, right now, I don't get the point of view from which Jesus Lynn is saying that party should go. I don't know. Right now, your newly signed midfielder is injured, shoulder injury. If you are calling for Partey's head right now, you want Jorginho to play there? Is that what I'm saying? Or you want to bring who else? Or you drop Martinelli to come in? So I think it was a bad day for players, right? Let's just admit that once in a while, players will have a bad day, and those things should be, I mean, allowed to pass. If we see this performance consistently in about 3 matches or more, then we can start talking about whose head to go for and all of that, right? But I think,
Pate can't play 3 matches in a row. It's not like he can play 3 matches in a row.
he's played so far. I think he's played in the first 3 games so far, right?
So you can't add
He
another
probably
3 to 6 matches. He can't play it. It is not even.
so far he has played. He has played. So let's trust that he's back from injury and then he's going to be fit for you. Don't worry. Me, I trust Pateo. He's really good. You saw the goal he scored in the previous game.
Yeah, yeah.
Classic.
You see, they were
That
hailing
is
him when he
Pateo for
scored
you.
the
That's what
goal.
Pateo brings to
You
the
see,
game.
Who was
that's
really him?
oh, Arsenal fans, everyone on social media, they were hailing him. He's better than Rodri and all that. I heard all those comparisons. I saw videos of Zinchenko and all that, like old videos where he was saying that Partey is the best and that he has seen, even though he's played with Rodri. I heard all that. You see, that's what fans do. When you have a bad day, they turn on you, but when you do well, they praise you. It's like there's no middle grounds for fans, and it's sad actually. So for me, I want to also see that from the point of view of Arsenal. Um, Even though Havertz did very well with the goal, I was surprised because I know Havertz very well. I'm a Chelsea fan now, and I know what he can do. And that particular lobbing that he did, he's been trying that at Chelsea several times. He couldn't, but he did well. But he had about 2 chances before the end of the game that he could have buried, and then they would have gone home with their 3 points. But he didn't, and that's classic Havertz for you. He's very good, yes, but he's not that clinical. Because I watched the City match, and boy, oh boy, Haaland, that guy is deadly. He had 7 touches and he had 2 goals in the first half. 7 touches, 2 goals. That's how clinical that guy is. So I don't know how these traditional top four teams are going to take City out of that. I'm sorry, take the title from them because the guy had 7 touches and had 2 goals from it. He's like his mindset is like once I get the ball, I'm scoring, and that is it. It got to a time I didn't even want to watch the match anymore. It was insane. It's like so. And when we look at all the other teams that we are trying to take over from Man City, nobody has that kind of striker that you can say that this person just is just clinical. I'm not talking about wingers and all that. I'm talking about the number 9 position. It's like nobody has that kind of lethal striker that once the person gets the ball, you are sure that the goal is coming. And so what do you think the other teams can do to surmount Man City? Because it's scary, actually. It's scary. I'm dry. What do you think?
Well, this is my opinion. I think that the end is not necessarily to have one person leading the goal chart, right? And also be cognizant of philosophy and systems that coaches deploy, right? Their goal is to win the match and score more goals, okay, as a team. That is why you have attackers. So the goal is that your attackers produce for you. And the goal is that the team ends up winning matches with at least 2 or more goals. So at least 2 goals, right? So in a system where you have a striker, a typical number 9 like in Haaland, playing in a system where he's deployed to be the one to be scoring goals for the team at the expense of other attackers, it serves the purpose of get the goals, win the match. Fine. In other systems like in Arne Slot system or in even club system where all the front three can have goals scored, it's equally fine. I think last season or 2 seasons ago, you see that, or even last season, Liverpool had or were the only team whose attackers had 10 goals plus. It never happened in any other team. So the output is this, that it is system specific, philosophy specific, and at the end of the day, are we winning matches and are we scoring more goals? Are we getting huge like goal matches? That's the point. It's not necessarily to get one person to be like an arrowhead like in Haaland. If you don't have that kind of thing, adapt your system to make sure that at least you get one goal from Jota, one goal from Salah, one goal from Diaz. At the end of the day, your front three, they've all scored. You have 3 goals. That's fine. When it comes to awarding players individual awards and all that kind of thing, that one is a different story. The team's goals comes first before individual laurels are brought to the table for discussion. So I'm not really perturbed about Haaland being how to call it, a menace, and or Haaland's effect being a thing for other teams to be concerned about. As far as other teams are also getting in the way of scoring goals, that is okay for me. So for me, I'm okay. And
Okay.
to finish with this, the danger in all of this is this: take Haaland out, maybe through injury or any other misfortune, you would see how the team needs to adapt to score goals. That is what I'm seeing for City. If Haaland should go in to, if Haaland should get injured right now, it's going to be very difficult to get who to score goals for them. And I'm waiting to see that. I'm waiting to see the point where this happens, and I'll see how City is going to adapt to score goals.
For me, I think that question has been answered already by Pep. He didn't have Haaland. He didn't have any recognized striker for a season, and he won the league again. So for them, I don't know how anybody going to surmount them. It is very difficult. But then
Fantastic.
let's not
See,
focus on the for dry. Let's not focus too much on the oil team. Let's come
sure.
back to the teams that we want to we want to talk about. Yeah, we want proper teams that have been invested by like companies like Clear Lake and all that. Not an oil team. No, no, no. So I want us to move
What
on
is
to
that
our
one
next
too?
match. Yeah. Yeah. Proper teams here, proper teams like with investment, proper investment. That we can trace the source of the income. That's what we are talking about. Okay, so let's focus on the next match is Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. Um, it was 1-1 as well. Jesus Lynn, what do you think happened there? Because everybody tipped Chelsea to win, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think we Crystal Palace hasn't started the season well, but we also knew that at the bridge, Chelsea always find a way to win against Crystal Palace. So I didn't watch the match, and I also haven't been able to see the highlights. I've just seen clips on social media, so I really don't know how the match went. But I saw some. I think Chelsea had a good game from the highlights I was seeing. I think they had a lot of chances that they could have won the game with. So I really don't know what happened there.
Dry, what do you think? Dry, what do you think? What happened? What do you think?
Okay. Chelsea's situation is still not something that um, Chelsea are still in a big situation, sort of, right? This is why I see. So, in one game, they'll give you a very good performance. Then you start to believe that, oh, they're doing something um, very interesting in their club. In the next game, you see a very poor performance by the same crop of players that delivered top performance in the previous game. And the inconsistency with the Chelsea team is too consistent to say that, oh, you can see a trend of improvement and a trend of some where they are heading to. So it's very difficult for them. In the previous Premier League game, Madueke was a star. In this one, oh boy, like I didn't get a chance to watch the full game, but what I saw, the short part I saw was really poor. I mean, and kudos to um, Palmer. I mean, Palmer is a very smart player, good guy. I mean, Jackson again was on the score sheet, but again, you saw clear chances that Jackson missed again, and these are some of the things that Mikel Arteta is calling him out on. It's not to be called out, and then because you score one goal, give one assist, you boastfully go to social media and go and call out a legend that he should shut up. Hey, and you come in the next game and you put up this performance and don't want Mikel to talk about his club that he passionately loves, it cannot be the case, right? The Chelsea's inconsistency is just too bad. It's just too bad. Chelsea fans should be relaxed, and I think what Chelsea fans should be doing is constantly keep praying that Palmer gets fit throughout the entire season. Because if Palmer should go out of this Chelsea team, Your Jao Felix didn't even give up any, didn't even show any good signs of something exciting. Neither do we see that from, as for Modric. I mean, Charlie, it's just poor. I mean, it's just the old Chelsea. I mean, one step back, two steps. Sorry, one step forward, two steps back. Nothing really good to write home about. I'm still of the belief that, oh, it's early days. Let's give the coach some time. But that is what we'll see. Oh, give him some time, give him some time. Then it will be 10 games. Sometime. Then 15 games. Sometime, and then Chelsea is trying to survive relegation. But I know for sure they will survive relegation. That one I know. But something to fight for in the top four, it's not something I can really bank my hopes on.
So for me, my analysis, the first half it was very very good. Chelsea were all over them. You could see what Maresca was building. You could see the patterns of play. Like they had so many chances. You like you if you watch the first half, you will not know how Crystal Palace were going to come back. It was like there was nothing that showed that they could ever get any goal. But I think that the inconsistency of the players is due to the entire board's agenda of going for young players, and that is what we know about young players. If you go in for young players, they will be inconsistent. Young players will never give you 9/10 or 10/10 every time. The reason why Liverpool is always delivering is because if you look at their 11, there's Salah there. He's been there for years. There's Van Dijk, been there for years, the keeper. Like you could see that these players are players that have been there and done it. But if you look at Chelsea's 11, you could look at, and even I think the first match against Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea fielded in the youngest team that Chelsea has ever fielded, the youngest 11 ever in our history to face Man City. So that is not Chelsea's policy that we know. The Chelsea that we know, it always goes for the best and then always delivers. That is like the short term, success. But for some reason, this particular owners want a long term success, and they said they want it in the future, so they don't want it now. Even I think when you ask Maresca, he was like nobody told him to even go for top four, and that's very embarrassing. He's been told to improve the team, and that is it. And if you were sixth and want to improve the team, I don't know, maybe if he's talking about fifth or not, I have no idea. So, but the whole thing is that it's because of the young players we have. They are not veterans who have been there, done it before. So they are always inconsistent. But then, if every Chelsea fan that will watch the first half knows that if you could always repeat whatever we did in the first half, the team is going to be very deadly for any other team in the league. But in the second half, when there's just one mistake happened and then Eze scored and then that was it. The whole team was down. And that's what happens even during Poch's time. Whenever the teams come back or they score as first or anything, you could see the whole team. You could see from their faces that they were all down. Their passes were no good. Even Palmer was not able to pass the ball. Madueke was suffering. Everybody was struggling just because the team were 1-1. And then it's like that is the sure sign of going for kids. That's the result of it. Mentally they are not there yet. They've not been there, done it, and know that, oh, even if Crystal Palace is back, we can still find a way to win the game. So I think it will take time. For Chelsea, it will take time. It will take time. But then I think that the talent that Chelsea has, with time, definitely things. I see that there's going to be a better future. Yeah, definitely. Um,
But
um,
Chris,
let's move on to dry.
Chris, before we move on to the main game for the game week, I think I'll beg to differ with you on the point that if you recruit youngsters, this is what you get. If that argument is something to go by, Everton will be playing Champions League right now. United will be going unbeaten by now. Burnley wouldn't have gone on relegation. I mean, those traditional clubs that recruit old players and experienced players, as you would call them, would have been competing in the top six by now. It's not a matter of age, right? Quality is quality, irrespective of age. We see example in Lamine Yamal. We see example in young players that Barcelona is recruiting from the academy straight into their first team. In fact, I would be Salzburg is playing a very young squad and they've been able to get into the Champions League. You can say same for even Alonso's team, Alonso's Leverkusen. Maybe two, three players are old in the squad, but generally the average age of that squad is relatively very young, I think, compared to Chelsea. So quality is quality. if you really want to get players to have a winning mentality, it's a psychological problem that needs to be addressed by the gaffer in charge, and maybe a psychology team, right? So while they work things tactically on the pitch of training and try to implement it in games, I think the psychological bit of the game should equally be invested in hugely to get these players to come to that level. Arsenal's team is not any older team either, but then see they've been able to match City toe to toe in the past 2 seasons. So it's not. I don't really think it's a matter of age. As for that, I would say, look at Gravenberg in today's midfield. Boss play midfield against Casemiro, who is old and
We will
experienced.
get there. We will get there. We will get there. We will get there. Relax. We will get there. So I think it is a mixture of the two. Having veterans in there who are going to guide the kids. That's my because with Chelsea's situation, it is not just about the age. It is about the experience they have. Like you could see that someone like Jackson became a pro, like in playing for the first team. It's like just 3 seasons before he came to Chelsea, and it's not something that you could be sure that this guy is always going to produce for you. But then let's put that aside and let's go to the Liverpool versus Manchester United. Liverpool versus so Manchester played at home at Old Trafford, and for some reason, every time Liverpool gets there, they deliver. So let's before I come to Dry, who is going to talk because his team is winning, and you could see his high hopes. So audience and then our viewers, I want you guys to watch his demeanor now. And if Liverpool loses or something, we will see how he's going to react. This sport is going to expose everybody. Everybody, yeah. So we are going to see because the way he's happy and all that, you will see if he's going to maintain the same demeanor. So let's dive. So Dry, I'll come to you for the lineup. What was the lineup that Anne Slot went for? Dry, you are on mute. Yeah.
It's the same lineup that played Brentford last week, and just one change from the first game of the season. So you have Allison in Poe, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson, and then you have the double pivot of um, Gravenberg and then McAllister, then Soboslai. Then you have up front as an attacking midfielder, and you have Salah on the right, and then Diaz on the left, and then Jota as the target man against Man City's, most expensive squad ever on earth. The likes of Zexi, Bruno,
Manchester
Garnacho.
United, not Man City.
Sorry,
I'm
Manchester
correcting you. The
United, the
Manchester
most
United.
expensive squad you can have in the Premier League as of now. I mean, if you fact check and you come and debunk that, argue with your keyboards anyway. So, Casemiro, Kobe Mainoo, who is hailed so much, and I think that guy is pretty overhyped. Then deletes, then Lucho, you have Mazarawi, and then Dallo playing as fullbacks, and then Onana in the post. So Rashford, the darling boy, I think played in the game as well. So you could see that United came with the full complement of their team, and you could say nothing wrong about that particular setup. Just that, the game is beyond the players you put on the pitch. The game is played in the head. It's a chess game. It's a contest of
Dry,
intelligence.
dry. Hold on, dry, hold on. Relax. Let's go from the neutral point of view and then come to you. Yeah, from the neutral point of view. Yeah, let's go from.
From a neutral
So
point of view,
no. So let's go to Jesus Lane and I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you.
oh,
I'll come back.
okay,
Relax, bro.
okay.
Relax. Yeah, relax.
I think Liverpool have been scoring United for the past. I think last season was the only season where they had. I think they had draw home and away. So I think we're expecting the same thing. But the only issue was that I was at Old Trafford and it was Slot's first game at Old Trafford. So we're expecting that the match would be a very competitive match. And I think from the way it started, United were doing very well. But that you can't we don't know the issues with United. We've said it so many times and it keeps repeating. And I think I don't know if they are comfortable with it now or they can't see what the issues are because we've seen these issues play. This is Ten Hag's third season and we still don't know the type of football they play. And this is Slot's third match. And you can already see what they are trying to, even though you say that they are building, they are continuing from what club did. But I don't know what United fans see in Ten Hag and all these players they keep bringing in and the type of football they play. Because there is no reason why Casemiro should be the one in that midfield playing consistently this season. It shouldn't happen. And you could clearly see last season we all complained and we all said that he should be shipped to Saudi Arabia by this time. But he's still their main man in the midfield. And they still want to play around him. That's what they will get. But I think Liverpool had a really good game. They took their chances. And I think their trigger in the midfield was Casemiro. They were on him and they did excellently well because I thought maybe because of the first match, the pressure and everything, but it didn't look like they were disturbed about anything. So then,
For me, I was very impressed with Gavin Beck. He was excellent. He was by man of the match. Actually, he was everything to what Liverpool was trying to do. He was the one always targeting Casemiro. He was the one trying to link up play between the defense and the midfield. He was like he was bossing the midfield. He was everything. And I don't know him that much, but Dry. What position was he playing before Anislot? Dry, you've been muted. Dry, you are mute. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, he was playing as a CM. So Klopp deployed him as a CM, and most of the time you see him on the left midfield, on the left central midfield, right? That's where he was playing until Slot came, and then Slot probably reinvented his role and then told him to sit back and play in the sixth role. And he has admittedly said that he knows how to play in the six, right? Although he's not known for that, he's played in that place before, and so it's no surprise to me that he is really delivering. We are trying to see the Gravenberg that we saw in the Ajax super team at the time, and it's good to see that someone that we needed so much in Zubimendi, we are getting that in Gravenberg, and it's saving us a lot of money. Unlike some other clubs who would probably throw in money and go and bring in players that will get injured in training and all of that. I mean, we trust our team, we trust our players, and give them chances for them to show that they really got a talent, and that is super. That's fantastic.
Okay, what do you think was the reason why you guys were able to surmount the Manchester United team?
I think we showed them glimpses of what we will do to them in a serious match during the preseason. But then we showed them what we will do to them.
Sid,
We will show
mute
them
yourself. Sid,
like
mute
glimpses,
yourself.
shadows of what we'll do to them when we get them in the Premier League during the preseason. Oh, but these guys were like, "Oh, it's just preseason, nothing to show." I mean, it's. Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Go ahead. Go
Good.
ahead. Yeah,
So
we
yeah,
can.
so very simple football, club ball. Play the ball from the back, attract the press. If you can't play through the press, play behind them and score them. Like I told you, having a very dynamic, a very fluid attacking three, like we have in Jota, we have in Diaz and Salah, should be every team's nightmare, irrespective of whom you have at the back. You don't care how much you paid for
Drive.
your defense.
1 second. 1 second. Drive. Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah, so
Okay.
earlier
So
I
yeah, yeah.
mentioned yeah,
Mm-hmm.
earlier I mentioned that we were just we showed them what we'll do to them when we get them in an official match during the preseasons. But then these guys said, "Oh, it's just preseason," and I think they didn't take any lesson from that. So, in today's game, all we just saw is a tactical masterclass from Arne Slot to really exploit the supposed experienced midfield of United. Hello, in good evening, Mr. Dry and Mr. Richard. Casemiro. We are having a good weekend. Express myself and then really hold the neck of United fans. Um, I'm really sorry about this, Chris. I would have to go right now.
So Jesus. let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. We have just 2 minutes to wrap it up.
Mhm.
So I think in short, do you think Liverpool can cause a little havoc to the team to in terms
So
of the league? I do think they can maybe at least challenge for the league title this season.
I think they've started really well, but I today Gravenberg had a very good match, granted. But we've seen that their midfield has been an issue for I think for the past 2 seasons, and they've been trying different ways to go about it. They tried to go for Casiedo, they didn't get him. They went for the Japanese guy, I think from Germany, Endo. It also didn't really work. So they are still trying to. You could say that maybe for the first 3 matches, they found their rhythm, they found what they want to do as a new coach, the philosophy, the football is great and everything. But going forward, let's see how it develops because it's just the beginning. It's just 3 matches in. So they you would have to see them meet. Now, I could only say you have to see them meet City and Arsenal because with Chelsea, I don't even know what they will bring, and United too. I don't know what them. So let them meet those teams where we really challenge the football they are playing and everything. Then we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so I think that is all for tonight. Thanks for everyone for listening to us. Thank you. And then from next week we are I think there's going to be an international break, right? Yeah, so we will touch more, we'll bring more content, and then we are going to talk more on other topics as well. um thank everyone for coming, and we are going to continue to bring you more content, and this is the first episode, and we are going to continue to improve as well. So thanks for coming, and then hopefully by the end of this season, one of the teams that are represented on this pod will win the league, right? Yes, that would be lovely. That would be very lovely. So see you again, same time next week. Bye bye.
All right. Thank you.